Most AI agencies are chasing $15,000 deals that never close. They're missing the real play, a 50K lifetime value relationship that starts with a $3,000 project. Nobody's going to pay you 25 grand up front if you're a complete stranger, but they'll happily pay $50,000 over time to their trusted AI partner. I personally built and sold over $100,000 in AI infrastructure over the last 12 months, and it took getting rejected on at least 100 sales calls to learn this painful truth. The path: start with a low-risk $2,000 to $5,000 pilot project, deliver insane results, build trust through weekly strategy calls, then expand into comprehensive AI infrastructure across their entire business. Clients don't give a shit about your N8N workflows. They only care about seeing the results that you're generating, and they want a trusted partner and a strategist that can tell them how and why they should implement certain things, and then to have the firepower to actually deliver it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how people that are focused on the strategy and the consulting will become fractional chief AI officers across multiple different companies, earning $10,000 per month per client, while the quick money chasers will fight over the $500 Upwork scraps. So let's dive into it. So if we look here, I basically want to walk you through, there's the core framework of how to do this and what it is. And then there's the roadmap and the process to go from zero in over 90 days, over 6 months, over 12 months, building a solid, sustainable client base of high ticket retainers. So let's dive into it. Most people, they will watch YouTube tutorials on N8N. These videos will get 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 views. And then 500 new N8N experts are born on this topic, and the market is just saturated. They're trying to sell these simple AI tools with everyone trying to offer the same thing, and it's just a race to the bottom. You don't want to be in a race to the bottom. It's this price war where it's who can charge the least amount of money, like $500 per project. You can't scale a business that way. It's trying to sell simple chatbots, basic automations. You have no single point of differentiation from yourself and every other AI agency owner out there. And the client just thinks, why can't I just have someone else do this for me? Now, what you want to do is you want to focus on the things they do care about. The business outcomes, visible results. We talk about infrastructure and client dashboards. This is making these visible results front and center. They want a professional client relationship, revenue growth for their business, and a clear ROI. What clients don't care about are your webhook configurations, your vector databases, your N8N nodes, your API integrations, and all the technical complexity that you have. In fact, this is the thing that is holding you back. It's watching all of these videos on N8N and getting super technically complex, but not actually doing anything about it. This is exactly what I talk about in my program, where we talk about how to build business foundations, email infrastructure, set up campaigns, create offers, lead gen systems, and email psychology, right? Because everyone, after talking to at least 100 people in this community so far, I've realized that the number one problem is that you're focused on the wrong things. You're focused on all of these technical things, trying to set up the best RAG, vector database, multi-agentic team, when in reality, what you need to focus on is how do I actually show clients that I can deliver them the things that they care about, the outcomes. I can reduce the risk by showing them the results as soon as they happen. I have a professional client relationship understanding and maybe even team, and I can show them the clear ROI on what I'm doing. And if they don't get clear ROI, they don't pay. And so this is the new approach. It's the AI infrastructure approach, where it could cost them, 15, 25, even $50,000 to implement, but not upfront. People will talk about AI infrastructure and all these things, and they say like, oh, I just sold a $25,000 upfront deal. I think that's bullshit. I think what you need to do, and what in this roadmap I'm going to show you how to do, is you actually start with getting your foot in the door. You pitch a $2,000 to $5,000 discovery project. It's like this trial project. You give them free AI audits. You deliver as much value for a couple $1,000s as you possibly can, but you frame your services as a consultant and not a service provider. And then once you get them the outcomes, they see that they can trust you. And then as you build that trust and prove the value, then you expand that relationship and you do weekly strategy calls with them. You audit the other parts of your business. You propose other infrastructure level solutions. By infrastructure, I just mean you're proposing a systematic You're proposing an ecology of AI systems. So it's like, I'm not just going to build you this one chatbot. I actually have these 10 different systems, and I think this is how you would approach them. I think we should systematically install each of these 10 different systems in your business, because in order to do that, you would reach those revenue goals. And then over time, as you continue building trust, you become their chief AI officer, and you join kind of their inner circle, and you're focused on strategic leadership and AI roadmap, and you're training their team. And this has probably come before the chief AI officer, but if you can show them you can train their team, you can get them results, and you can be the strategist, you're going to get compensated 10x what a technical implementation specialist would. And so the old approach is you have a single tool like N8N, you charge a one-time $2,000 to $5,000 fee. You're easy to replace. Every other Joe Schmo and his mom are building out N8N systems now. Just look at the view count on these videos. You're getting like millions of views on a daily basis in the N8N space. And so you can't retain anyone because someone's like, oh, wait, I just posted a job on Upwork and someone can do this for me for $500 or less, and you want to charge me $5,000? Why would I pay you? But if you can pitch it as, I am your AI consultant and strategist with a team that will implement as well. So it's not just like, I'm your strategist. Like to go into like AI strategy mode, it's good, but you want to have both. You want to have both implementation and AI infrastructure and strategy, right? And so what that looks like is, and so you're building them these client dashboards. You're giving them, let me show you what the dashboard would look like. Here's the number of leads we've reached out to this week. Here's the reply rate. You can see the different markets that we're targeting. Here's the total number of opportunities generated. Our win rate is this. Here's how many sales calls we booked on your calendar. We're actually testing out these 7 different segments. We have audience segmentation on each of these. We're running A/B split tests. And here's the results on each of the split tests. For the CTA, here's the results. And here's the market performance. We basically found you product market fit in these 2 sectors, so we think we should double down on that. If you approach them with something like this, that's going to be a lot higher quality of an experience. And, a lot of people in my last video were commenting about, is it, you're just building like a simple client dashboard SaaS and selling it for $20,000? No, you're building a client dashboard that displays the value that you're doing on the back end. You're not just selling the dashboard. The dashboard alone is useless, but the dashboard with the technical implementation helps you position yourself as a strategist and a consultant in a way where you can have clients with $50,000 LTVs or annual revenue, $4,000 a month for 12 months. If you're their strategist, they get this dashboard experience where they can see all of the things that you're doing on the back end. The infrastructure layer is underneath the dashboard, where you have the lead gen systems reaching out to people. You have a team working on what are the best campaigns to run, and end-to-end sales automation. You have the team training and onboarding. You're recording Loom videos for each of their team members on how to train them. You're showing them the dashboard. There's the architecture on the back end. So you don't want to do this old approach of single tool, $5K one time, easy to replace, low retention. You want to do this where it's, you start with a $3,000 project, you deliver value, you give them this dashboard, then they can see the value. It's like, okay, this is how we're running our offer at Smart Scaling AI. We're doing a $1,000 trial project. We basically systematize the entire lead gen process where we get as many new clients as we possibly can. It's $1,000 to do the trial project. We show them that we can get insane value for them by sending 10,000 leads on our own infrastructure using all of these different prompts that we've written to split test and optimize what their email campaigns are. And then once we get them the results, it's like, hey, we got you like 5 sales calls this month. Did you close any of them? Cool. You closed one for, a 30K. Your average LTV is 30K and you just close one client. All right. Our full service is $3,000 a month for a 3 to 6 month minimum. You can choose this as you're starting out. And it's like, okay, now you just got, if it's a 6 month minimum, $3K a month, which I've sold that exact package before, then it's like, okay, that's an $18,000 minimum LTV for that client. And all it took was an initial $1,000 trial period where you proved the value, especially if you're doing cold email, which is what I teach everyone in the community here. It's just like lead generation, cold email infrastructure, how to write cold emails. I think cold email is the best strategy out of all of them. Don't focus on LinkedIn DMs or Upwork or all this stuff. If you master cold email, it's an infinite flow of leads into your business. But then when you're doing cold email, you can't sell them a $20,000 project. You have to sell them an initial like 1 to 5K project, and then you prove you're invaluable to their company because you're getting them insane results, and then you pitch them on like a 6K or 6-month minimum for 3K a month or 4K a month, and then you just over deliver, under promise, over deliver, and you basically become embedded in their operations. This is crazy high retention rate because if you can position yourself as the strategist and the implementation specialist, you don't really like talk too much about the implementation. You just say, yeah, we'll take care of it, we'll build it all out. But you focus on the strategy and you focus on the consulting side, and you're basically like, hey, based on all the things we ran, we think we should build this system for you because it'll unlock this ROI. You cool if we go build it this month? What do you think? And you have this dialogue with them. And so that is the play here. That is the play. And so I pretty much just talked about this. You can charge premium positioning here. You could say, you could even charge a, 5K per month for a 6-month contract. That's a $30,000 project. But it's a no-brainer for them because you already delivered them $30,000 worth of value in the trial period. And then they're like, oh, this guy's serious. I like working with them. They're very easy to get along with. They understand my business. They're doing strategy and they're delivering. Okay, sure. Like I'll pay, 5K per month for 6 months because I believe in this person. And you want them to believe in you because you're that good. You want to believe in yourself, right? If they feel like, oh, I don't really know about this person, I have my doubts, it's never going to work. And so one of the key points that I want to hit home here is that the more comprehensive your solution, the more like systematic your solution is with AI infrastructure, where you're not just building one tool, but you're building an entire suite of AI solutions that your goal is to think, how do I most effectively solve this problem in the business? And oftentimes the most effective way to solve a problem isn't to build, a cool AI tool or a really complex system. It's to build a set of simple systems, right? The lead gen system is not that difficult, but when it's paired with the dashboard, with the I basically, when I say end-to-end sales automation, I basically have like 5 different end-to-end workflows running at any given time for a client. But when all of those 5 are combined, each one on their own is very simple, but when they're combined, the value add is that I know it will get them ROI, and they will be able to see through the client dashboard that I built using Lovable the exact, minute by minute updates of exactly what's happening. And so the more comprehensive and effective your solution, by focusing on AI infrastructure, you become more anti-fragile. If you haven't read Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb, you should read it, and recession-proof. The people that, and this is what I want to talk about, the people that focus on, most people don't think like a business strategist, and they're just sheep. They follow the latest AI trend. They're hopping on the latest, coolest tool, N8N right now. They're trying to play catch up. They're watching all these tutorials. They're behind. And what your job is to spot the trends and to predict what's coming. You need to be ahead of the pack. And you don't do that by becoming more technical and learning more about N8N than everyone else. That's an illusion. You need better strategy. As I like to say, you need to be a strategic motherfucker. Don't focus on technical implementation, for the love of God, and spend 90% of your time on offer creation and market positioning and building out cold email campaigns. The first 3 months of your process are just split testing offers and markets by sending, 10,000 emails per month to, 3 to 5 different markets per month with 3 to 5 different offers per month. You have to figure out the positioning, the risk reversal, the guarantees. There's a lot of nuance and complexity in offer creation. And a lot of people online will like to tell you that, oh, just like set up this email campaign and you'll be getting clients tomorrow. It's not how it works. I've been running email campaigns for the last 8 months straight, at least 10K per month, sometimes 30K per month emails. And it's freaking difficult to get these things to work. But once they work, it's like you just strike gold. It's like 3 to 6 months of split testing offers on cold emails and thinking about positioning and markets, and then hopping on sales calls with the people and having all these objections that you don't know how to handle. But once you go through that grueling like 3 to 6 month period of getting that market validation, testing these offers, hopping on calls with people, eventually you start to realize what people actually want. You start to realize and predict what the objections are that they have before they have it. And you start to create risk reversals and better offers, and your offers get stronger. And it's easier for people to sign on to them. I've signed on 3 clients in the last 2 weeks from cold email alone for this AI lead gen infrastructure offer with the trial period. And so months, 3 to 6 are where you start getting clients. If you go heads down and work on this, and the cold email systems are working, months 3 to 6, you'll start getting an insane amount of clients because you're starting with a low risk, high value offer, and then you expand into a partnership over time, which means that you're not going to get paid $25,000 up front, but you will get paid $2,000 to $5,000 up front, or $1,000 to $5,000 up front, and then you'll deliver insane value. And then you'll get them on a retainer where you're consistently delivering more value and strategic value. And then the lifetime value of that customer is between $25,000 and $100,000 per year. But you start with the entry level offer. You don't go for the home run on the first swing, right? And then eventually, if you do, and I've started to explore this with a couple different companies, as I worked with them longer and longer and longer, they love the strategic component that I'm bringing, and they want to bring me in as a fractional chief AI officer. Well, full-time, but I tell them that I'm not going to work for them full-time. You become the fractional chief AI officer, where you can essentially say, I will basically run the AI department on your business. I will help build out all the systems, yes, and I will manage this team for you. It's, and this is where you can start charging, if you want to go more in depth, you start charging $10,000 to $15,000 per month to basically run AI-ify people's businesses. And the thing that most people don't understand, having soft skills is 80% of the work, and AI is only 20% of the work. By soft skills, I mean being confident in what you're saying, being articulate, having good strategy that you can communicate with simplicity, right? Because this is how you think about strategy, right? Most people try to do strategy, and it just is like poor strategy equals too complex. Great strategy equals simplicity, or equals clarity on the other side of complexity. And so this is what it looks like. You ever seen that parabola graph that people show, and there's a bunch of memes about it, where it kind of looks like this? So what you can think about this here is, this over here is simplicity. If you have bad strategy, it's just too simple and you're not taking into account enough things. And then really poor strategy is overly complex. And then really great strategy is clarity / simplicity. It's simple because you have gone through the state of complexity. And if you can reach this stage with a business where it's saying hey, I've deep dived into all the different systems, all the different things in your business, here's the simplified, clear strategy that you need to deliver and how we're going to do it. Not I'm thinking about these 100 different things. Can you read this 100-point bullet point list that I made? It's no. Hey, I have this simple plan. I did dozens of hours of research, and I went through I was working with Manus or Claude for 10 hours developing the most comprehensive strategy for you. But now this is what I've simplified and clarified it down to for XYZ reason. And once you can do that, this is when you can become a chief AI officer and premier strategist for different businesses. And so there's a roadmap here that I will show you in a second, but I just want to hit this point home. Right now, the market is becoming commoditized and saturated from AI agencies because everyone's trying to compete on price for $500 to $3,000 projects, and it's a race to the bottom. And above that, tech giants like Google and Microsoft are trying to build out these agents. So for people, if you're just focused on the simple AI tools and systems, it's game over, because Microsoft and Google and OpenAI and Claude are going to release better, simple AI solutions that are going to accomplish what your automations right now are accomplishing. And so that window is closing, and what you need to focus on is you need to be as strategic as you possibly can. the more strategic you are, the more you can position yourself as an asset in the long run for multiple businesses. If you become indispensable to 5 different businesses because your strategy is so good, you have recession-proof income. There's not that much competition because most people are not good at strategy. They're not good at offer creation. They're not good at market positioning. I can't tell you how many people I've met that are stuck in this middle route where they're like trying to get really good at N8N, and they have this kind of pipe dream of, building a living, building a career out of AI and working for themselves. But they don't understand that they're focusing on the wrong things. They're focusing on N8N and the technical stuff when what they need to focus on is how to have premium positioning, how to do better strategy, better offer creation, how to understand the psychology of marketing and sales such that you can take those deep principles of influence, of persuasion, of copywriting. Once you understand these core skills of sales, marketing, copywriting, persuasion, etc., then you can, but then coupled with AI strategy, it's not just enough to understand like email psychology and marketing and sales. Like that will get you, that will take you further than just N8N workflows alone. But if you couple the deep understanding of AI and a deep orientation towards being strategic, then you can actually develop insanely valuable offers because you're going to these people that you're speaking to their pain points really effectively. You're writing copy that resonates with them. You're doing all of these things that deeply resonate with people, but you're able to have customers with a lifetime value of $25K to $50K or above because you're able to position your product as a no-brainer up front, and then you build trust and establish more value over time, and then that increases the LTV over time. So I want to give you guys a sneak peek of the roadmap. There will be more videos on some of the rest of these components here because this is a pretty complex thing to pull off. But the roadmap is essentially this. You position yourself as an AI strategist, not just an implementer, and you start with cold email. Cold email is the level best way to get in front of people and to test offers and to validate your market. So you set up your infrastructure, you set up 10 domains, 50 inboxes, you create 5 to 10 test offers using offer creation frameworks. And not to shamelessly plug here, but you need to focus on, there's a roadmap here. You focus on the infrastructure, but then you focus on offer creation, email psychology, how to set up the lead gen systems. It's not, this offer creation and email psychology and copywriting are really difficult things to pull off, but once you do them well and you create really high value email campaigns and you build out the email infrastructure, it's basically game over because you're able to send 10,000 plus cold emails per month with AI-powered personalization and enrichment with high value offers because you've tested them, and you're going to get 20 to 30 sales calls per month. And then that's when you get your foot in the door. So that's going to probably take you 2 months to really get right, to build out the email foundation. It's going to take you at least 2 months. Then on month, I guess you can start testing the offer on month 2. But on month, 2 to 4, this is when you start getting really good at AI audits. You start pitching low risk discovery projects and framing yourself as like both an implementer and a consultant. You're like, hey, I am a consultant and a strategist, and I have, these 3 people that will help on my team that will help me build it out, and you can actually build a team sooner than you think. Because everyone is in a race to the bottom, you can strategically utilize that pattern in the zeitgeist by saying like, okay, there's 100,000 people on Upwork fighting for scraps for this job. And you can say, hey, I want to position myself as a strategist and a consultant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a job on Upwork, and then it's like, okay, all these people want to pay me $500 or want me to pay them $500 to build out this system. Cool, I'm going to hire 3 of them, figure out which one's the best, and I'm going to have my implementation partner who understands N8N, understands all these systems, and then they are helping me deliver, and I'm focusing 80% of my time on the consultations, on the strategy, on helping them figure out what they need and educating them. And then as you build trust and prove value, you start getting a couple clients, and then on month 6 to 8, and this business model is not going away. AI automation is becoming more saturated by the month. But to become an AI strategist, that's not going to go away, because no matter what the tools do, if N8N blows up tomorrow, your ability to understand all of these core principles of persuasion, email copywriting, sales, marketing, strategy, business strategy, how AI, you can with enough work, you can start to see what's happening in the world with AI, and you can be responsive and adaptive to that in a way where you start to recognize what's happening. And no matter how AI shifts, you will always be a valuable strategist. You will always be able to provide strategic value no matter where AI is, and you can always audit their business, give them solutions, propose infrastructure, become embedded in their operations, build them trainings, onboard their team. Like, helping a team get onboarded into AI systems is not an easy thing to do, but it's extremely high value. And so over time, within 6 to 12 months, you will have clients that are paying you lots, and you will build a $30,000 to $50,000 MRR business. And now this is not easy. This is a 12-month roadmap, but you can get to something like 5 to 10K MRR, monthly recurring revenue, within 3 to 6 months if you really put some elbow grease into it. And so that's really the process. There's a lot more here. There's a lot more complexity into this roadmap, which I will go over in future videos. But that's pretty much the basic idea. I hope you found this valuable. How to sell AI infrastructure. You need to sell AI infrastructure. You need to sell systematic end-to-end solutions with multiple different agents and systems. You need to have an implementation partner, and you need to be the strategist. You'll be the whole gamut at that point. You will be the person that can speak to their needs, that can help them understand why AI will completely transform their business. You give them a risk-free offer, is like a trial project. You have your implementation specialist. Maybe your profit margins are a little lower at the beginning. Maybe it's like 40% profit margins or 50%. But then if you convert half of those people from trial projects into full-time customers, then your profit margins then hit 90% plus, because you're paying this person $500 to deliver per month, and they're paying you $5,000 per month, and you are just hopping on weekly calls with them and doing some strategy work. So this is the business model. This is what I've run. This is what I teach. You can go to aiservicefounder.com, and I'm basically building out an end-to-end program right now that takes people from zero to, or it's built out, takes people from zero to installing these processes and frameworks into their business. Not just like, here's a bunch of templates and go figure it out. Like, that is the most insane thing that people pay for that. It's like, here's the framework, understand why we're doing this, understand why it's valuable. Now build the skills of persuasion, build the skills of offer creation, of market positioning, of running email campaigns and testing offers, of doing sales calls. Here's a sales call script and framework. Here's how you send the proposal. Here's the follow-up emails and messages. Once they sign the proposal, here's how you onboard them. Here's what the trial project is going to look like. Here's the structure of that trial project. Here's how you convert them from trial into full-time, $3,000 to $5,000 a month with a 3 to 6 month contract. Here's a template for the proposal. Here's how you build up the systems to manage the CRM, right? There's a lot of components here. There's a lot. And don't think this is going to be easy. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. I have been, honestly, not necessarily pushing burnout, but working 12-hour days, 6 days a week to scale this company, and we recently hit a huge milestone of $20,000 per month. I think we actually hit 25K in revenue this month, but 20K MRR. But it's not easy. I'm like working harder than I've ever worked in my life, but there's something enjoyable to it, because when I see these patterns and these trends and these strategies, and I can see how it's working, it's fun to be like, to actually implement and execute and build a business in this domain. It's really fucking enjoyable. I'm having the time of my life, I've got to tell you. And yeah, you're probably going to work 60-hour weeks to make this work. If you want to go on a, 4 to 6 months timeline, if you want to do 6 to 12 months, you could probably, full-time replace your income in 3 months and then scale it over time over the next 8 months. But this is not a quick fix. This is not a quick fix at all. And don't let anyone tell you that you're going to make $100,000 tomorrow with AI by just like building an end-to-end system, because that's not how it works. You have to put serious elbow grease in it. But the frameworks and the strategy are here. The frameworks exist. The strategy exists. The execution is simple, but it's the hardest thing you'll probably ever do in your life. So, thank you for watching. Hope you found value in this. And yeah, see you in the next video.